So hello, my name is Asanobu Kitamoto, and today I would like to talk about IIIF Curation Platform, canvas-level linking structure for user-driven content creation. So co-authors Jun Homma and Tarek Saier, and I'm from ROIS-DS Center for Open Data in the Humanities. So, okay. So I'd like to introduce IIIF Curation Viewer, which we have been developing since 2016. And it is included as one of 5 IIIF image viewers in the IIIF official website. So, and especially in Japan, people use this viewer for the IIIF services. So the original idea is very simple. We would like to collect theme-based image from the large collection of IIIF images. So we would like to crop a part of image and then add to favorite. And then we can collect a theme-based images like this. So it's a very simple procedure that draw a rectangle and add to favorites. So this is the original motivation. And then in the last IIIF Fall Working Meeting, I saw this session information, canvases as first-class citizens. And it says that the use cases of IIIF is changing. And these days, we need more curated assemblages of images and annotations across manifests. So I realized that this is exactly what we have been doing since 2016. So I decided to introduce this concept again in IIIF conference. So the idea of a curation is very simple. It is a canvas level linking structure. So we have curation structure like this, and it is an ordered collection of part of images. So the first element is linking to a part of image in canvas 3, and the second element is linking to a part of image in canvas 1, and so on. So it's like this canvas could be from a different manifests. So it is actually the link collection to a part of canvases. So it is useful for collecting a part of images because you can compare manifest and curation like this. So manifest is actually representing a physical container such as a book. So it has an order based on the physical structure, and it is from providers, image providers. But curation is created by users, and it's like a logical container located outside of the manifest. So you can make a link from the outside of the manifest. So it allows flexible groupings of canvases. And also the advantage is that curation does not require a duplication of manifests. So if you want to create this structure using manifests, you have to copy the information from many manifests, but this is just a link structure, so you don't have to duplicate manifests. So to do this, it is not possible within the current IIIF specifications, so we have to extend it. But the extension is very simple. You have a new element like curation and also the selections link, selections relations. So it's like you have an array of links to canvas or part of canvases using XYWH. So using this structure, you can create a link to any canvases in any manifests. So IIIF Curation Platform is an open source software suite for developing the concept of curation to bring out the full potential of IIIF. So it is we have 7 JavaScript apps and Python scripts and Docker, so that these are all developed to realize the concept of curations. And also we believe that it brings out the full potential of IIIF, which has not been realized in the current specifications. So then we would like to introduce some use cases of curations. The first one is collection of facial expressions called kaokore. So as you can see, this is the collection of faces like this. And this is actually the search result by specifying the keyword warrior. So, and it's originally from Japanese artworks, and we use the 3 tools from IIIF Curation Platform. The first one is IIIF Curation Viewer for cropping and collecting a part of image like this. And also we use IIIF Curation Finder for searching the collection by metadata. So this is actually the user interface of IIIF Curation Finder. And the third one is IIIF Curation Board for analyzing the collection for art history research or digital humanities research. So I'd like to introduce how we can use IIIF Curation Board. The next slide. So, okay. Okay, so this was originally a video, but it doesn't start. Okay, so this IIIF Curation Board is to organize the curated images on the two-dimensional space. So you can, maybe I can restart it. Okay, so the video is coming. So you can organize a curated collection of images on a two-dimensional space. So you can zoom in or zoom out. And also, you can move the image on the 2D space so that you have a better grouping of images. And if you click on the info window, you can see a metadata or title of the image. And also, you can add a stamp, color stamp, so that you can have a fine-grained grouping of images. And then you can also remove the stamp so that you can change your interpretation of images. And if you look at this right-hand side window, you can go back to the original image and the IIIF Curation viewer so that you can understand the context of the image in the original artwork. So this is how we can use this for art history research using the idea of curation. So another example is North China Railway Archive. It is a collection of old photographs in grayscale. So we use IIIF Curation Viewer embedded for showing images and metadata together. So this is example of IIIF Curation Viewer embedded that you see metadata and also the photograph. And this is also, it can show colorized photograph using the machine learning. And it can also be used for preserving the museum exhibition. Actually, we had a museum exhibition in February 2009 using this archive. And we preserve it in the form of curation with captions as metadata. So in this example, this caption is actually was used in the exhibition. And so you can see the original captions on the web browser. And we use IIIF Curation Player for this purpose. It's not only for browsing, but also for automatic slideshow for a virtual exhibition. So if you click on this link, you can see the virtual exhibition of the original exhibition we had 2 years ago. And the third example is IIIF Curation Viewer, but it's a new mode called Annotation View mode. So we annotate map markers using canvas coordinates as marker locations. So this is an old map, and these are markers, map markers located on canvas coordinates. So it's not like georeferenced map, but you can use the original map in the way as web-based maps. And a uniqueness of this annotation is that the original image is coming from a national data library, which is another organization. So we just overlay on top of IIIF-based old maps coming from a different provider. So you can also see the video of Edo maps. So this is a list of Edo maps. Edo is an old name of Tokyo. So it's created around 1849. So we annotate the map with map markers like this. So you can zoom in or zoom out. And if you click on the marker, then you see the place name. So it's similar to web-based maps. And but IIIF based. And if you click on the link, then you can see the list of place names. And if you click on the the ID, then you can see a metadata of the place name and also the zoom in of the map using IIIF Curation Viewer embedded. So in this way, you can navigate the old map based on the IIIF. And another example, fourth example, is IIIF Curation Viewer annotation view mode. So it's a similar, it's the same annotation view mode with the old map, but we have a different type of markers like box frame marker, character marker. And in this case, you can compare the original character and transcripted character side by side, or in this case, you can overlay the transcripted characters on the original one. So this is used for transcribing all Japanese document written in kuzushiji. So this is the video of how we use this transcription service, OCA, a machine learning based transcription service called Curation. So this is an old character, old Japanese character, but that most Japanese people cannot read. So we trained machine learning OCR for kuzushiji called Curation, and you can call the Curation kuzushiji service from the IIIF Curation Viewer. And then you can ask the machine to transcribe, and in a few seconds, you can transcribe all the characters on the page so that you can show it on the original image. So if you move the character marker or change the size of markers, you can compare with the original character with the transcripted characters, and like this. And also we have another tool called serialization Curation text editor, so that we can show transcription results with a reading order, like within the line or across the line. And so you can use this result to get the text transcription from the old books using the machine learning. So this is a result of how we use IIIF Curation Viewer or IIIF Curation Platform for transcribing the old characters using machine learning. So the final result example is not included in the abstract, but this we would like to introduce this as a final, the most recent results. So it's a visual version comparison of printed books. So what we would like to do is differential reading, highlighting visual differences between different books with the help of computational algorithms. So these two images are printed by the same woodblock, but a little modified. So where it's modified? So this is a IIIF URL image API. So these are from two different books. And we use a computer vision algorithm feature detection and matching to overlay two images. And then how we can highlight the visual differences. So we are developing a new tool called vdiff.js. So I'd like to introduce this. So we are comparing two images, and one is colored by red and one is colored by blue. So you can highlight the difference by using two colors. And if you use the slider, you can just visually check where it's different. So you can see that this part is missing in this red one, but it's appear in the blue one. And also you can use the color to see the visual differences like this. So you can now clearly see where it's different using two colors. And if the computer vision algorithm is not perfect, then you can also modify the corresponding points so that you can search for better matching. And this is realized by using OpenCV.js, so you can just have a real-time update of the better matching. Okay, so I quickly introduced several applications of IIIF Curation Platform. So I'd like to summarize that unique features of IIIF Curation Platform is that it enables users to create and publish original image collections based on themes. It is the example of Kaokore. And the second one is that it enables users to call and use original image services delivered from service providers other than image provider. So in the case of CuroNet, you can call this CuroNet service for any IIIF images from any organization. So this is like combining the image and the service freely. And the third one is it enables users to provide an overlay display of original annotation information. So EdoMaps or CuroNet, you can overlay different annotation, your own annotation on images from different providers. So it's like as a platform supporting the entire workflow of users, freely collecting, processing, and publishing images. And ICP is playing a role in pioneering new uses of IIIF images. So this presentation time is limited, so very quickly, briefly introduce the IIIF Curation Platform. And this tutorial has much more information about how to use IIIF Curation Platform. So I hope you have time to look at this tutorial. And I'd like to thank co-developers, Jun Homma and Tarek Saier of IIIF Curation Platform, and also collaborators, Chika Suzuki and Tarek from CODH, and also the providers of images. Thank you very much.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. That was a really great list of a bunch of really compelling uses of the curation platform. We have just 2 minutes, I think, until the end of the session, and I don't see too many questions in the Q&A section, although there are some good comments in the chat. I guess one question I'll ask, because I put it into the Q&A section, is I'm just curious if you or the other folks related to this project have looked at the content state API development. It seems like it might be useful or connected to some of the ways that you've talked about the curation elements. So if you haven't looked at the content state, that might be a useful thing to look at for future development.
Okay, so I'm not really
sure
about content API, but it's like a notification of the update or something like that.
Yeah, there's a lot to it, but it's partly about addressing regions within an image or within a manifest and being able to port that.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I'm not really sure about this content state API, so I can probably it's better to answer later about to give you better answers. Sorry for that.
Yeah. No problem at all. I just thought I would mention it, and that's a great answer. So it's only just been released as 0.9, so it's not even a finished spec. So we'd love your feedback if you do get a chance to look at the specification.
Okay, so yes, I'm this is very great comment. Yes, I'll look at it. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you for this presentation, and thanks everyone for joining us. There are a couple of great other pieces in the chat. If you take a look at that, that'll persist after we end this session. And if you're able, we can continue the Q&A part in the Whova platform as well. But for now, I'm going to end this recording. I'll say thank you once again to Asanobu Kitamoto for presenting, and thanks all for joining us. And we'll see you at the next sessions the rest of this week.
Thank you.